I think it was. Let me find out some more details. It's been a while ago. The first case was ruled by a jury, and the appeal was.
Most of the time, appeals aren't held behind juries. I don't know how it is in Australia. That's a different story, but they usually don't do appeals before a jury.
In this case,
maybe
sexual misconduct, the case was related to, then it would be a jury.
Not for appeals most of the time.
In the Commonwealth countries, yeah. Even if it's an appeal.
I think you better check your law, man.
Technically, we hear of the case as well.
That's one.
The appeal was decided by judges, by a group of judges.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. See, it's like that's what I'm talking about. Appeals aren't the same as a jury trial at all.
Okay.
It's kind of a lot of people have issues.
First trial was in 2018, ended in the hung jury. Second trial in the later part of 2018 with 12-member jury found him guilty. And then he spent a year in jail, and he appealed in 2019. A panel of 3 judges ruled on the case, and decided 2-1 to overthrow the conviction. And then the final appeal in 2020, 7 judges decided. The result was 7-0, so it unanimously squashed the conviction. I don't know why they had the second appeal.
I would like to see the transcripts on that one. I know that would
what kind of proof they actually had.
Well, see, if in most countries, if you do an appeal, there's people who can make petitions to overthrow the appeals too.
Yeah. Maybe that's what happened. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the accused, the lawyer for the accused, appeal the appeal, maybe, right?
Hey guys, I got a thing. You might be able to check it out better than what I can. Back in, I think it was 1950s, up in Wisconsin. For the nuns where they were living at, during that time, well, when the place was tore down and they found some things in the wall, and with a big old investigation being done from the state of Wisconsin because of it. But all the nuns were living there during that whole time. They would shut the building and all that down. They found a bunch of over 200 bodies of babies in the walls. And the word was that the Pope, the people that ran with the Pope, well, supposedly,
if he gets out of hand and starts talking crazy shit, you let me know. I'll just start smacking the shit out of him.
But they would go over there and introduce themselves to the nuns. And that's how they wind up getting pregnant. But I was wondering, the story, I don't know. For the person that told me that.
Makes it wavy for nuns or
we call the
Well, see, I think to be honest though, Robert, I think that really, me and Tan especially, are really, we like doing this stuff. I think we need to sit down one day and have a serious freaking discussion when it comes to the facts on the Catholic Church and the Anglican Church, because there's a lot of myth that surrounds it.
Well, the popes.
What? Like what?
Like the actual responsibilities. You guys were talking about how, like the English church, like Mark was talking about. No, that's actually something we could actually look into. Like, how does that really work? Like the Anglican church, whose responsibilities are, you know, how you know, things like that. Like the actual structure,
Yeah, okay, we can do that. Yeah, even when the Anglicans spread over to the United States, they've split it. They've like self-organized themselves into their standalone entity, and they do not belong to the British monarch anymore.
Well, here in the colonies, they made it a really strong effort to freaking push the Catholics out of the New World. Like it was really. I don't think the Catholics actually was able to get footing here in the Americas in the territories here until no.
Yeah, the Irish Catholics were there way from the beginning, buddy.
No, the Catholics there was a big push to keep them out of here.
They came to New York.
No, this was back during the colonies. This was back whenever they were still a part of the UK.
Okay. Yeah, the U.S. made a point to tell them that,
because the majority of people that came over here to settle the New World were Puritans.
You're talking about
the Puritan movement.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't want, and the Puritans own businesses. They were really trying their best to keep. They didn't keep them all out. Don't get me wrong, but they were really. It was real.
Wait, so the Catholics were the first Europeans to arrive in America.
No.
Norway was.
No.
No.
Well, they're going to start. Robert's going to start pushing the Vikings again.
Wait. So the Vikings. No, I'm talking about.
I know.
No, there was another one before Vikings.
Right. So,
Puritans were driven out of England. They had to move to frickin' Denmark in exile.
Yeah, specifically those
the Pilgrims.
Vikings that came into the American.
Right. So, when Roger said that the Catholics were being pushed out.
No, they were making it very, very hard for them to.
They were being pushed out by whom?
By the colonies. People over here didn't
The
want
U.S.
nothing.
was pushing them out.
Not the U.S. This was before the U.S.
Well, I meant to call them anyone was. What do you call them again? The colonies was founded off of Puritan beliefs. Yeah. That's not Catholic. Yeah. They just didn't want them having any real power still left in the U.S.
Because they were very anti-Catholic because of the way that governments were being run in Europe. They were really upset about that.
They didn't want no more part of it.
They wanted.
Well, of course, there was colonies set up by the Dutch, the French.
Exactly, and that's where most of the Puritans came from, is the Dutch and
They would have been mainly Catholic.
Well, they were exiled. The Puritans were exiled out of England because England didn't want nothing to do with the Puritan movement. Okay, so they exiled them, and them and the Pilgrims and all of them were exiled into Denmark, and then they came back from Denmark to sail over with the West Indies to frickin' New World. and that's when they landed on Plymouth Rock.
Obviously, the Spanish as well, especially when you come to Latin America. So yeah, they would have been Catholic.
No.
No, the Puritans were Protestant.
Yeah,
They were Protestant.
They were extremely Protestant.
Well, but you have schism in the church, the Catholic Church. The Protestants came from the Catholics.
Yeah.
Right. But
And then,
that's way back in England, not when
Yeah,
they came to.
but that's the reason why.
Right?
That's why they
Oh
were.
yeah. Way if you want to go back there, way back in Germany when Luther.
oh, don't even get started there. You know the whole thing about the Puritans and their freaking apocalyptic myth that created their religion, don't you? Like they believe that freaking they seen an eclipse, a solar or a lunar eclipse or a solar eclipse, and they thought that it was a vision from, or it was a message from God, dude.
Solar.
Yeah, that is some wicked stuff, man. I actually got to get into some of that research.
I don't know if those were Protestant. They were just more like occultic.
Well, yeah, that was back when they were first starting out, so they would have been more of an occult movement.
What group was that, Reg?
That was the freaking Puritan movements. Because they were different factions when they first started out, and then they finally consolidated. I think it was in Germany, wasn't it? After they took siege of that city.
Yeah.
I believe, I forgot what city it was.
Hey, Roger, what group was that they broke up apart from one another? The Snake or something like that? It was on the Ancient Alien about organization.
No, we don't talk about ancient aliens on this
Well,
show.
no, I mean, but they were talking about,
Friendly series.
well, something about,
We don't do that here. We don't talk about aliens.
okay. Well, I'm just saying, they were about, there was a group that broke up from one another and they were fighting one another through the centuries to get the things their way.
What are you talking about?
It's some kind of group.
Are you talking about different?
It's one
different
group,
groups,
but
different factions within the church.
yeah, and it's multiple groups of them, and from the time that they started until now, they're battling each other. That's what they say.
Yeah, you're almost there. Just can't.
Something like a snake or a spider.
Okay. Maybe they're like some people like the Knights.
Not the Knights Templar.
Yeah.
It's older than known.
What did you see? The snakes and the what were their symbols?
Well, they didn't show no symbols, but it was like a snake. They said it, but I just can't think of the name of it.
Yeah.
But the way they said it, I just can't pronounce it. But it's an old, even older than the Knights Templar.
Research time. I just put a guess out there. Is it the Epicurean snake? I might be thinking of something else.
Yeah, I'm not coming up with anything either. What was the other one? The snakes and the cobra, you said?
Well, might be the Cobra. or some kind of snake thing.
Like from the guild staff?
Oh, that's the staff of Moses.
But this group started off, and they were doing it nice, but some other people messed with it, and it started a big old. It broke up into different parts, and people started fighting one another.
Can't put a finger on it.
It's like the thing up in Wisconsin. My dad was telling me about when he was young, and they were tearing down the building of where the nuns were living, and the preachers from the church, the one.
Are you confusing the 13 so-called Israel tribes compared to the 13 colonies in the US?
Oh, Israel has 12 tribes.
Yeah, or 12, sorry. Maybe.
The Appalachian.
That might be it. It's a name that I couldn't even begin to pronounce it correctly.
Appalachians do refer to people who lived in the Appalachian Mountains, geographical region in the eastern United States. What are they? They were Scottish, Irish, Presbyterian.
Anyway, would you want to continue?
Maybe, Roger.
Yeah, you've gone down to the wood.
Oh, he's out smoking a cigarette right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Shame on it.
Shame.
But what I was referring to was about all the other.
Yeah, maybe the Appalachians are what you're talking about there,
Oh, okay.
Robert.
What?
It says the Appalachian religion is so focused on individual conscience and literal interpretation of the Bible that the church is split constantly. Moreover, whether to use the organ in the church, whether the preacher should be paid a salary, or would often that quarrel should often lead half the congregation to leaving and start a new church across the road. Maybe that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's cult kind of stuff, though. It's like cult of personality. Okay. This church is doing this thing over here. Oh, some people don't like that idea. Oh, this guy voices an opinion that some people are too scared of. Oh, this guy goes across the street, starts his own church, and it's just hustlers and cultists. That's all I see. I mean, just be real about it. I mean,
There's a famous example of this quarrel called the Hatfield-McCoy feud.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, does that sound familiar?
Oh, yeah, that's a big old story around here.
Yeah. started with a dispute over a pig
Yep.
and a forbidden romance.
Mhm.
So this is it, right? That is the group you're talking about.
Well, yeah, it could be, but it sounds like that church too.
That's my talking point.
A secret organization.
Sorry about that. I had to go smoke a cigarette. You guys got me overwhelmed.
You were giving up something, right?
Well, it's
No?
Tan. He's hardcore, dude. You give him beer and he gets all drunk and crazy and shit.
It's my second one. I'm not drunk, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I keep forgetting Mark's the lightweight.
I'm drinking Japanese beer.
Yeah, that's not even beer. That's Japanese.
Wait, then
Is that rice beer?
Yeah,
Asahi.
yeah, sake.
No, it's not. It's not sake.
That's racist. See, I said IPA, and the other guy's like, that's rice wine.
Now,
It's just.
That's just politically correct, sir.
I like Sapporo better, but it was at a discount, so I tried.
no.
Anyway, what were we talking about? What's the next topic? Roger, we're running out of time.
Now, the one thing I wanted to mention too is if you guys are wanting to find out about more about the topic of the Puritans and stuff like that, and how it took place here in the United States, the best book I found was William James. It's The Varieties of Spiritual Experience. If you guys ever get a chance, you can read that. He did a really good job at telling that story. I wasn't able to finish the whole book, to be honest with you, but that's one of the best books you can find out a lot about the history of the Puritans here in the colonies and stuff, and how it actually grew up to the 1800s. Like, he really breaks it down. So with that,
For those of us who are not familiar with the Puritans, like myself,
yeah,
can you tell us what they are?
The Puritans, they actually turned against the Catholic Church, from what I made of it, and they also turned against basic Christianity is what it is. They believe that the Bible was full of false teachings that went against what God actually was teaching, and it gets it's really hard to explain. You know what I'm saying? Like
They came from England, didn't they?
no, they actually came from Germany, like Mark said. They actually came from Germany and areas like that. They were more of a...
Gemini is telling me that they're like 16th, 17th century English Protestants who sought to purify the Church of England from its remaining Catholic practices.
Roger likes to attribute everything to the Germans.
Well,
I don't know why.
the Protestant, I have to remember how to... The Protestant is a major branch of Christianity originating in the 16th century Reformation, emphasizing salvation by grace alone, through faith and supreme authority of the Bible and the priesthood of all believers. Now,
Puritans came from there.
the key principle includes sola scriptura, which is the scripture alone, and the sola fide, the faith alone. Often focusing on that's what it was. They believed it was the personal relationship with God rather than believing in going to church and worshiping in church above everything else. It was the opposite. They believed that a personal relationship with God was more important. Salvation by faith.
You're probably mistaken, Roger. So these Puritans came from England. not Germany.
No.
They come from the English Reformation movement.
Okay, now hold up. Protestants rely. Wait, no, that's not it. Origin. The term emerged in 1529 when the German princes protested a crackdown on Martin Luther's writings. Reformation spread rapidly in the 16th century, forming a major diverse branch of Christianity alongside Roman Catholicism and Eastern Orthodoxy. That's out of Britannica.
You're just reading about the Protestants, right? The Protestants.
Right. That's
Well,
Protestant.
what about the Puritans?
Oh wait, is that the Protestant? Yeah, that's the Protestant. The Puritan. That's what it is. It's the wrong definition. No, the Puritan.
The Puritans they came out of England.
The Puritans were a 16th and 17th century Protestant reform movement seeking to purify the Church of England. Yeah, that's it. To purify the Church of England of Catholic remnants.
They're trying to exorcise the Church of England.
I mean, if you ask Roger Hanson, the Germans and the ancient Vikings were responsible for everything.
No, see, you don't understand what it is. See, he brings that up because I talk about the world tree, and people like him think that the world tree means the Yggdrasil, and that's not true.
No, that's not why I bring it up.
That's where you guys always come in with that stuff.
You say what Germans did.
Well, the thing of it is, it's not just the Germans, it's that whole region, okay? Like, everybody didn't originate out of Africa, like popular belief. It's because, people have this idea because they come up with ancient DNA of one human that actually was in freaking Africa. That's where all of the human race spawned up out of. And
ER
and
blood type.
that's where my whole issue is. I think if you go according to nature, humans would have spawned up in different areas of the world. If you do it that route. Now, religion, what we're talking about right now, has nothing to do with any of that. So this is all about religious beliefs. So I'm not going to muddy the water when it comes to that. But the
just the
religious.
You can wait that one.
But yeah, the Puritans actually were 16th and 17th century Protestant reform movement seeking to purify the Church of England of Catholic remnants, focusing on intense piety, Calvinist theology, and biblical literalism. They valued sober lifestyle.
Influenced by John Calvin's.
They valued sober lifestyles, literacy, and community covenants, with many migrating to New England to establish a holy commonwealth. So that would be it right there. And see, they were very.
They hate the Pope with a vengeance, by the way.
Well, they did not trust anything that came out of the Catholic Church. They believed that the Catholic Church was actually the Antichrist.
Yeah. They think the Pope is the. Well, no, they think the Pope is the Antichrist, and they think the Catholic Church is the whore of Babylon.
Yeah.
Right.
You got it right. There you go.
Well,
Thank you.
Come on. Is there any other organization more infamously known for molesting children?
The thing of it is that's so contradictory about that is like the Puritans.
That's unfair, B. Like this, there's a lot of holy people in the Catholic Church. A small fraction of them are abusers, and you make them the exemplars of the Catholic Church. That's totally unfair.
concerned, you may be right, but still, I think they're both valid.
Well, I mean, you know, the thing about it is, even with the Puritans, okay, I think that when they make that statement that they believe that the church is the whore of Babylon, you got to remember they think literally, so they would not think that the church itself was the whore of Babylon.
Well, the thing about that whole thing is the whore of Babylon has multiple heads. Okay, the church is only one of them. Okay.
They wouldn't think of it in those terms, though. Is my whole point.
No. The whore is the lady, the woman.
No, Babylon would be.
The whore of Babylon is the woman, and she's prostituting herself against the seven-head monster.
Seven-headed dragon.
No, so it's symbolism. It's not an actual woman.
But see, the whore of Babylon would literally be the whore of Babylon to a Puritan. It wouldn't be metaphorical to a freaking Puritan. They would see the whore of Babylon as being the whore of Babylon.
No, it's still metaphorical.
Literally.
No, they would see.
The Puritans believe everything literally.
Yeah, no, they would see
literal.
what the person does and how they react.
They don't think freaking. They don't think hypothetically.
No, they go by what you actually do,
the outcome
how you do it.
The outcome and what they believe.
Yeah.
It's how they act. They're not to copy
Right,
that
exactly.
behavior, because it is all the whore's behavior. It's not literal. It's everything they do is wrong, so it's whorish.
Yeah, but the thing of it is, if you stand in front of one of them, you do something that you know is wrong, and you're trying to tell them that they're wrong for telling you you're one of them.
Puritans believe in literal and supreme interpretation of the Bible, so they probably believe the earth is like 6,000 years old. Right?
That's probably true. That probably is true. They probably do believe that the earth is 6,000.
All Christians are supposed to believe that.
No.
Not to the point where they'll slap you across the face for calling them a liar.
If it's in the Bible, then it's supposed to be true to you. That's what
Well,
it is.
Puritans.
The Bible never says the universe is created 6,000 years ago.
You know that the Puritans for the longest time.
7 days.
That for the longest time the Puritans forsake science, right? You know that, right?
That's what you want.
There are 7 days, but are they? Why would you think there are 24-hour days? Like there's no sense of hour way back in the ancient times.
Wow.
Okay. It doesn't say age. It says a day.
Now you do understand Puritans didn't want to use electricity for the longest time, right? Like they forsaken science. They believed that it was freaking untrue. So they.
So it's a work of the devil.
So does the Amish come out of the Puritans?
Yes, the Amish is a good example of the Puritan movement.
But the Amish are pretty nice people, though.
Yeah, they are. They are nice. They are nice. They make really good food too.
Yeah.
They're better than the English food. I'll tell you that much.
That's not a stretch for anybody.
I got an American, U.S. citizen.
Hey,
What do Americans know about good foods, right?
I mean, anybody that are named Bread Scone is you know what a scone is, don't you?
It's something you could copy here.
It's
Okay,
a.
all right. I think we got it mixed up. Amish are not Puritans, okay?
There.
Amish are descended from Swiss Germans, and the Puritans are English.
That's what Roger was thinking.
Am I mixing Puritans up with the freaking
Yeah. No, don't blame the Amish for Puritan sins, man. The Amish seems like nice people.
Puritans and then the freaking the other ones? What were the other ones?
Burned women in the state.
Protestants.
So hey,
Are they Protestants?
Probably, yeah.
So they have their own thing. I mean, when you talk about the Amish, man, their stuff is a whole separate universe. They have, I mean, their ideology. You have to be able to read the Bible in English and in German and sometimes Latin. You have to have so many ways of reading the Bible. And yeah, of course, they don't like technology and everything is of the devil. That's not a strict dogmatic religion, you know.
Well, do you know?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I was right. The Protestants. They're from the Protestants. They're Anabaptists, and the Anabaptists were the ones I was talking about with the apocalyptic freaking.
No. The Amish belongs to the Anabaptist tradition.
Right.
Yeah.
But hey, Roger.
They're a radical branch of the Reformation.
They are radical reformers. Yeah, radical reformations.
It's wild, man.
They're like, what?
They're wild, man.
You would think that they're like the Puritans, right? But they're not.
Yeah, they're
share
the Mennonites.
Some common beliefs and lifestyle. But yeah, they do.
No, they believe in adult baptism and pacifism. Now, adult baptism is something I think is a good idea too. If you're gonna freaking be baptizing children, they should be old enough to realize if they want it or not. You know what I mean? I don't.
I think the priests will disagree with that.
Well, of course they will.
Or the Catholic Church will disagree.
They got to make money somehow. You know what I'm saying? God, whatever, dude. Plain people.
I mean, the worker needs to be paid. You know.
Yeah.
That's from the Bible.
Well, when people bring offerings into the church and they need to bring them in as food like the old temples used to, and then they disperse it out to the priests so that they have something to eat. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, the priests are entitled to the
offerings. Yes.
Christian, a lot of priests believe in themselves. Garden.
No, yeah, like a lot of priests. Some of the priests are well-educated people who teach as professors in universities, and
yeah,
but they would have their own garden.
They actually own their own restaurant.
Cheese making priests.
They can do their own gardenings too, but they have. But the thing is,
European cheeses come from.
But the thing is, they're priests, right, Mark? So their main responsibility and job is to take care of their flock, their
church.
community. So if they were to, divert their attention into gardening and making a living, making food for themselves, then they would not do a good job.
See, all of the gardening, all the
you look after other people. You've got to look after yourself first.
No, not with the priests. Everything they do has to go back into the church. So if they're doing the gardening, all of that has to go into the church. Like they can't own any of it.
Universities, the money that they make goes into the order that they belong to.
Right, they don't own anything.
It's like greed.
No, the church gives it to them.
Catholic priests.
You see, they do work, and then the church, they give all of their stuff to the church, and the church gives them what they get.
What kind of bookkeeping is going on if this guy can just give some chick $1,000 to the church's money?
That's called
No. The church has the church has a council that has the finance committee and everything else that's run. The church, the priest doesn't run everything himself.
Right. Exactly.
There's a group.
I'm glad you said that. I was having a hard time saying that. That's basically what it is. And even like the stuff they do, okay, that goes into the church proceeds too. Like a priest cannot freaking get a job and get a freaking income. It has to freaking come from the church.
Yeah, that's their job. They get a minimal annual salary
Right.
to cover their cost of living.
And that's it.
Sorry, I just wanted to say
Yeah,
what
you're right.
Catholic Church, Roman Catholic Church,
Correct. That one, each group, Roger, has one that goes to meet all the other groups.
Each of the local church themselves are corporations.
Yes,
Right? The local church themselves are corporations. So that's why you see some of the local dioceses, the local churches in some cities, sometimes they file for bankruptcy because they're being sued by the abuse victims so much. Right? They can't afford to resolve them, so they have to declare bankruptcy because they don't have money to pay for the victims.
That sounds like the freaking Mason Guild, man.
That's the thing, though. When you're a corporation, if you know anything about Black's Law, that is they're telling you they're a dead entity, and under the rule of some wizard or some grand elite.
It sounds like Freemasonry to me.
Basically. So when you think of corporation, it's literally the word corpse. So if you're a dead entity, you are that, the Soccer Simpson stuff. You are that. You're not the human being. The person is not the person that's on your ID or your paperwork, right?
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. So I think that's funny. That church would become a.
But you have to admit though that does sound like the Freemasons. I mean, seriously, the way they set up their lodges and everything, it sounds exactly like how the Catholic churches are doing it. If they're doing it like corporate.
I think it's a pretty prudent way of organizing. I mean, look at the Protestant church. They're probably doing the same thing, except they don't have the hierarchy.
It's autonomy.
Each of the Protestant
Each of
the Protestant churches, like their own pastor raising the church, and they're responsible for their own finance. The people of the community give at each week. They're divided to church expense, and then the pastor gets salary from that. So there's no. But so for the Catholic Church, everything that the local church makes, they get to take care of their own finance expense, like building maintenance and all that stuff, and then pre-salary, but then the rest goes to the archdiocese.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Masonic notes from next door to me has been doing a lot of getting the roof repaired over the last week, and yesterday or this morning, after I went to bed, and on Wednesday after I went to bed after the streams, I was constantly woken up by hammering on the roof.
Those damn Freemasons.
Yeah.
They're the ones that made Washington, D.C.
See, we got to stop doing that. We got to stop talking about conspiracies in front of my brother because he's just not going to leave it alone.
Well, no, they brought it up there. So that's the way.
Oh, it was you guys. Oh, yeah. Well, see, I told you, these guys are crazy. They start getting into Freemasons. V started it, I'd almost bet. It was probably...
Well, it wasn't just Freemasons, Roger. There's a few other groups that was made over here, too.
Well, no, Freemasons are actually... They started in Europe.
But yeah, but
yeah, when...
Then we got some Germans, right?
Yeah, well, the thing about it is it's like with the Freemasons, that's more autonomous than it is anything else. Like that organization and the way they set it up is about autonomy. They want to keep it autonomous.
I will say speculative Freemasons started. Yes, that's true.
oh,
I think Roger's point is Freemasonry start all the way back to the Old Testament time, right?
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
No. The speculative, there's different. There's the speculative Freemasons, which yes, started here, but the real Freemasons, no.
Well, that's where me and V split, because he goes all the way back. He's the one who
Because this
believes.
goes all the way back
Well,
to
B believes that, I see.
Yeah,
right?
believe. Now, there was the stonemasons before the Freemasons.
Yeah. And they were back in
And
the
they were the ones that the
19.
Freemasons came out of.
yeah. That was back
See,
in
that's why you
19.
were talking about the stonemasons, okay?
Roger.
Yeah. Now,
They were talking about that was 900.
yeah, and the stonemasons started during the time of the mystery schools.
Yes, yes.
And there's no actual there's no paper trail showing that there's a connection between Egypt and the mystery schools, but it's clearly there if you read the text.
Oh, yeah, no, there's absolutely. Have you seen a pyramid before?
Well, I'm saying paper trails, dude. Paper trails. There isn't even paper trails showing how the pyramids are built. Okay.
Giza, that's a counterweight on this freaking planet.
Yeah, you show me a blueprint of how freaking the pyramids were built, and I'll freaking
Well,
show you
okay, so the
paperwork.
thing about the masonry is the stonemasons. They didn't share their secrets.
All right.
Okay?
So it's 10 or 12 minutes before freaking Eastern time, midnight.
11 o'clock.
Midnight, yep.
So before you start getting all into your conspiracies and esoteric stuff, which you know I like to do, we're going to end this one. It's supposed to be serious, and we'll come back and we will do headlines after midnight. Sound good?
All right.
Okay, so before we end this, let's do socials. This is a legitimate show. We'll do our socials now. So before we
how's
end,
Roger Landry doing? V, did he dropped off?
He's listening in.
okay, so before we end, let's do our socials. First, we'll start with Roger Landry and see if he wants to tell everybody anything about him, if he's got socials or whatever.
Roger is off the radar at the moment.
Okay.
Oh man!
He went
Can you bring him back in for? Can you bring him back in for the sign off?
He's
Kind of important.
he's probably asleep.
Well,
You can talk. Yeah, you can talk through your microphone. Yeah.
I wish you all one hell of a day.
We
Okay, Roger. Do you have any social handle somewhere that we viewer can visit you if they interested in checking you out?
I'm gonna tell you right now, he does not.
okay.
We're off the radar.
I think I found him on mine from some.
I mean, he may still have accounts places, but he's not active in those accounts.
Now, if you guys ever want to contact him, ask him questions, you can find him at Rogers Hangout on Teams. Just check out V or check out me, Roger Hanson, at Teams Rogers Hangout. Also, you can find him at or you can contact him through us on Elements Matrix at Rogers Hangout as well. So, is that good enough? That sound good?
Yeah. Remember, it's Microsoft Teams.
Yeah, Microsoft Teams. That's right. You gotta be precise.
Just in case there's another platform team.
Now, V, you got socials?
Yeah, you can find me. You can find me on the Dark Side Moon.
Right.
That's
Pink Floyd.
I think he's just.
Well, you know, I question.
He's always got
I
a.
question NASA because I didn't see anybody fly by.
He's a.
Did you see Sentinel
Was
Prime
that
there?
soundstage? Say it again.
Okay.
No, everybody can reach Roger. That's fine.
Okay. So, how about you, Tan? How can people get in touch with you?
Most active on minds.com. My channel is TH2Train.
All right. And how about you, Mark Edworthy?
Again, minds.com, Edworthy.
You can find Robert at Rogers Hangout on Teams, Microsoft Teams. at Roger's Hangout, as well as Element Matrix. And you can also contact me on minds.com at Roger_Hanson. That's my social. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe, share, make comments. We love feedback down in the comment sections, guys. You don't know how much that's appreciated. Just, leave a message, say hi if you have to. Anything,
Sorry, by the way, Roger Landry. That's why your name sounds very familiar to me. There's a Monsignor in the Catholic Church, a priest in the Catholic Church named Monsignor Roger Landry.
I know what you're talking about.
Not the same person, I'm sure.
Not the same person.
They both sound like Christians, though.
Okay. So with that, I'm going to end this show, and we will be back here later on.